All right, recording in progress. We are live. I am back in my humble abode where I have a thing called reception again. So to our loyal listeners, we do apologize for being a day late last week. It was a slight panic. Tyler and I were going back and forth till about 1 a.m. your time, 12 a.m. my time. In Montana, trying to figure out a way to get this YouTube uploaded on time, to get the podcast uploaded.
I don't know how you did end up getting it up, driving through all over Montana.
So what ended up happening is I ended up like transferring everything right to my phone, and then somehow I like figured out a way to get it uploaded, but it was a near disaster. It came in pieces, but thank you for bearing with us. We got a ton of listens last week, which was great. So thank you all for tuning. So we do appreciate it. But anyway, yeah, so we got a fun packed episode. We got Big Sack, Big Nuts Mike tuning in yet again for another episode. So give it up for Big Sack. Big Sack was just so good on the last episode. We just had to bring him back on again.
We got another special guest coming on today too for a little.
Yeah, we got another special guest coming on. So talk a little umping. We're gonna really dive into the world of umping and reffing and really, understand. You don't have to be a sports fanatic to know it's the worst job of all time. And there are a lot of reasons why it's the worst job of all time. We have all had a pass with the umping and reffing. So we got some fun stories lined up for you today. But guys, there's something I got to get off my chest. Yeah, I just drove 17 hours. Right back from Montana. We knocked out 17 hours in one day yesterday.
I don't know how you have so much energy right now.
It's this thing right here. Coffee and my new Glacier National Park plug. Let me tell you. Got anything to say, Mike? Got anything to say about it or no?
I can't tell if I'm back on, if that's considered a reward or punishment at this point in time. So we'll see how the rest of this pod goes today.
It's a reward. It's a reward. Guys,
you should feel blessed, Mike.
I want to read something for you really quick. All right. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Hold on. Give me 30 seconds. All right. I'm up. I'm ready to go. All right. 222 plate appearances. 52 games. Okay. 43 hits, 9 doubles, 2 triples, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. With a 2, now it's down. Now it's a 218 batting average and an OPS at 683. Now that is 678. That is the stats of our 20 million a year guy, Christian Yelich.
Max, I do remember you saying that he was back. Do you care to
I was wrong.
I've been saying it all wrong. He's not back.
This man, I was just venting to Haley about it earlier. This man's the worst player on our team. He's the worst statistic. He is statistically the worst hitter in our starting lineup.
And he's making so many errors in the outfield. I watched the game the other day. He had 2 fly balls that he missed.
The Brewers are painful to watch the last 2 weeks. Painful. It is the same exact story as last year. The same story. We have the best pitching in baseball and we can't hit. Again, 3 runs today. Colton Wong drove in every single RBI. He had 2 home runs. And you expect maybe 6 home runs all year from Colton Wong?
Mm-hmm.
Christian Yelich is the worst. He has the worst OBP on our entire team. He has 5 home runs. Rafael Ortega has this OBP that's 2 percentage points higher than Christian Yelich.
Is Christian Yelich the worst signing of all time? Hot take. But for the money, is he the worst signing in Wisconsin sports history?
He got his bag, and you could argue it with Braun, but Braun was at least serviceable.
Braun was clutch in the playoffs too.
This is just it puts a really small market team like the Brewers in a really, really bad position. We're in a lot of trouble, and you hate to see it, and you hate to see Yelich playing like this. You really thought he was going to rebound. At least I really thought he was going to rebound this year, but this is tough, man. It's tough. You can't have a guy that you're paying $25 million a year batting barely over the Mendoza line with 5 homers, 20 RBIs, and you're entering June. Yelich is 0 for June.
He's 0 for June.
He's 0 for June. Michael, I'd like to dive into the mind of a future MLB owner, future MLB GM, Michael Big Testy Scrupo. What are you thinking about this?
I'll be honest, when you were sharing that stat line, I thought it was just the offensive combination of every single Brewers player divided by how many players we have, because it just kind of sounds just small. Just in here. No, what was it? The last 3 games against our Padres, our friends in the Southwest, we've scored 4 runs in 3 games, and it was just 2 shutouts. It's too small. I flip on the game in the 5th inning, and I'm like, well, we still haven't scored a run. Nothing going on over here.
That's disgusting.
I played baseball with this man in the top left for 4 years in high school. And he's playing how Christian Yelich has been the last 3 years, right? I feel like I'm watching Michael Krupal in the left-hander's batter's box up at the plate. You talk about a guy who struggles to see the ball, struggles to get on base, struggles to hit for average, struggles to hit for slugging percentage. You're talking about a guy who can only walk. If he doesn't walk, he's not getting on base. You're just in for a lot of trouble. Michael, do we have any thoughts coming from the gallery?
That sounds like that's pretty big name recognition right there. I mean, when you think someone across the street, Christian Yelich, very attractive man. I mean, I'll take the looks for a lifetime over just 4 years of
he had some historical good seasons too. He just sucks.
Michael's just staring at his glutes the whole time.
MVP.
And realize what Yelich is doing up there.
Yeah, I'm ready to be on the next Sports Illustrated bodysuit edition up there. So Yelich did it.
I gotta tell you though, guys. I won't talk about it. I won't take up the whole time talking about it. I'm a big avid baseball fan. I'm a big Yelich fan. I'm a big Brewers fan. I've been positive about Yelich this whole time. I'm rooting for him. I want him to break through. But ever since he got his bag, ever since he fouled the ball off his knee, everything is back. When do the excuses stop? Right? When is it there's no more injuries? He's healthy. We need something.
He's had so many years to get out of this funk, and he just can't because
he sets the tone for our offense. Every single offense needs a guy. I was watching the Phillies game today. They came back down 6 in the 9th inning. Bryce Harper hit a grand slam to tie it in the 9th. No, correction. He hit a grand slam to tie it in the 8th, and then then the Phillies hit a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th to win. That's a guy right there that generates offense. We don't have that guy. That's why all of the role players that we have from 1 to 9 on our team suck, because we don't have a superstar that can break us out of a slump. That's what we're paying Yelich $25 million a year to do. So, all right. Anybody have any other?
That was quite a rant.
Very frustrating. I've had time to gather my thoughts about it. Twitter was going off today on Yelich. It was gold. I mean, it was tough day to be Christian Yelich. 0 for June. Just let that sink in. 0 for June. Michael, you got your hand raised on the Zoom.
I do. So, Max, you're saying that Yelich, he needs to be our offensive guy to create production and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any other alternatives that we have in our lineup right now that could possibly step up, like McCutchen or anybody?
Adames.
We also, why to not overreact as a Brewers fan in general, I'm reacting as a Christian Yelich fan, is we do have Hunter Renfroe and Adames are both injured. Woodruff is injured.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple bullpen arms that have been injured. We've had a very inconsistent road trip with injuries. We need Adames back. We need him back swinging the bat. We need Renfroe back in that starting lineup. He provides a spark for us offensively. Adames provides a spark offensively. We need Urias. Urias is hurt again. And he's been very valuable for us offensively. We need him back. So we got a lot of guys down and out. We need to get healthy. We need an off day. Bad. We've literally played I don't even know how many, it's 26 straight games. We need an off day. So we got an off day tomorrow. Hopefully regroup a little bit and get back into it.
They definitely had an off day last week. Just wanted to point that out.
Oh, do they actually?
Yeah, Max is pulling numbers out of his ass at this point.
Oh, All right. Well, correction. Then they had it off. there.
Expert baseball guru Max Hoffman.
All right. All right. Speaking of baseball, speaking of numbers, there's been a crew out there on the field that might not be playing, but they're calling the shots. And they've been taking a lot of heat. They've been taking a lot of heat these days. You're looking at all these stats about umpires. Are they going to robot umpires? Are they
NBA referees have been fucking up left and right in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what. It's a bad day every day to wake up and know you got a referee or umpire a baseball game, basketball game, soccer game. We got a soccer ref out here, a 7-year veteran soccer ref. We got how long have we since we've taken those classes, Mike? 8-year veteran, 8-year veteran MLB umpire, Michael Krupa. And I quit being an umpire a long time ago because I knew it was best for me, but Michael seems to keep wanting more. But I want to start over there with Big Mike up there in the top left corner. Mike, what's it mean to you to be an umpire in a day in the life? What do you think those MLB umpires are feeling out there on a day-to-day?
They're absolutely getting paid bank, so they don't care who's yelling at them. They don't care at all. I was listening to an interview with Big Bad Joe West, who's now retired. He had an interesting comment about automation and the MLB and if we're going to see that in the future or not. I mean, let's be honest, umpires, referees, it's part of the game that makes sports. It's something that we can complain about constantly. And that's what just makes it so exciting, in my opinion, that a call could have gone either way and that might have determined a game or whatnot. But Joe West did mention with automated umpires, on average, they'll be 92% accurate when it comes to balls and strikes. Meanwhile, the average major league ump is 95% accurate on ball and strikes.
Whoa.
But let's be honest, a lot of these videos we're seeing on Twitter, a lot of these videos on Facebook and YouTube, there have been some horrible called strikes or no calls going on this year in particular. It's so bad.
I think they feel the heat though, too, to an extent, right? I mean, they hear the conversation. It's not like they don't hear it. Like, oh, there might be automated umpires sometime soon. And like the whole world's moving towards technology. So why wouldn't sports, right?
Sports should never move over. There's no doubt in my mind. Maybe for assistant referees to cover the sidelines because the robots can, fly down the lines a little faster, but leave the human judgment up to it. It makes it more exciting. I agree, Mike.
But what if Elon Musk is coming out with the human robot? So like, what if we actually have physical human robot umpires running up and down the field, calling safe and outs on bases?
We're gonna shut down that conversation piece because you love Tesla.
Nothing will get me more excited than when I see a huge umpire behind the plate giving a.
No, it's got to be.
Or when they run down the line?
The lawnmower. But no, so Michael, really quick, do you want to just tell the viewers really quick about our first game umpiring together? Let me set the stage. So Michael and I took about a month-long class. Was it? Does that sound about right, Michael?
It was a couple months long.
Oh, a couple months long class, umpiring class to be WIAA, Wisconsin Umpire Association certified, right? We had these guys that were about 75 and 80 years old teaching the class.
Chuck and Jerry.
And they were sharing these stories.
Was it on a chalkboard?
No, an overhead projector. Like
that
when
they
you're
didn't know how to work. They didn't know how to work it at all. Not at all. Like not even one bit. Jesus. So they're sitting there, going through this. They can never get it to work. So we're sitting there for the first 40 minutes of every class, just waiting for them to get this projector to work. And then they finally get it to work. And basically, we technically are supposed to have like homework and like do like assignments in class and like do all this stuff. You know what? I'll stop. I'll let Michael tell the rest of it because I just wanted to set the stage. So we took our umpire certification class. Go, Mike, all you.
Yeah, during this class, these two old guys, old as dust, they'd be talking about a rule in baseball and in this scenario, the runner's going to be called out. And then the counterpart, now, wait a second, Chuck. Actually, I think he might be safe in this. And this wasn't like role play to help immerse the students to kind of have, critical thinking skills. They literally did not know the rules. But luckily, there was a rule book that we went by. Max and I studied up a lot. So my story for today is going to be Max's and our first youth baseball umpiring experience that we ever had. We were about 16, 15 years old. And we're going out in Heartland. We're doing 12-year-old baseball game. And for the first 3 innings, things are going great. My balls and strike zones are all right. Max is making good call on the base passes, calling people safe, calling people out, bang, bang plays.
First game ever umpiring. This is sophomore year of high school, freshman year.
And this is a dilemma that you do see in youth sports. And kind of setting up the scenario, we have a runner on third base and there's a passed ball goes to the backstop. The kid on third base sprints off, takes for home. Catcher kind of like lobs the ball over, but it wasn't even really close. The kid just runs over home plate and I make my safe call. And, I think the run scored, it's like a typical baseball thing, but this one coach comes out screaming, "Oh, he has to slide. It's in the rules. He has to slide." And I'm 16 years old and I just have a 45-year-old man with super high, morbidly high testosterone yelling at me.
Like, how tall were you at that point?
Same height now, about 4'9".
Oh, same height. 12-year-olds usually get a little bit taller than me. That's kind of the age range where they start getting taller than you. So he comes and I call time and I talk to Max and I'm like, this coach is saying like he's got to slide. And like, there's something about like a slide rule. Like maybe if there's like something by home plate, the runner has to slide. And so Max is just staring at me with 1,000-mile stare, just expressionless. And we finally agree, all right, yeah, he probably has to slide so the kids are safe. I don't know. We're talking out of our butts. So I come back in the game and the runner's out. He has to slide. And all of a sudden, the other coach comes out. What? There's no rule that the runner has to slide into home plate. And at this point, the crowd's going at it, bricking at each other. I call time once more, and I talk to Max. I'm like, oh God, maybe there is a rule where maybe there isn't a rule where the runner has to slide.
You made that rule up.
And I'm just going to the recesses of my mind, thinking, I'm like, I've never heard of like a forced slide play. No one got hurt. Nobody touched. And I go back with the original call, safe. And this is when you have 5 or 6 people in the stands yelling, bullshit. I'm like, oh God, I can't change this call again.
You gotta be kidding me, Blue. You gotta be fucking kidding me. 13-year-olds.
So safe, out, back to safe. And I'm sweating bullets the rest of the game, just getting chewed out for the littlest things going on. At the end of the game, we got our money and we ran out of the parking lot. Pretty sure I didn't even take off my like gear and just went in my car and started driving back home. Max and I
Mike's got his up mask on.
I was able to take the mask out. I had the shoulder pads and shin pads on though. But if we just want to conclude this story, in the end, Max and I made the right call. There was no weird, you have to slide rule. But just a word of wise to any umpire referee out there, stick with your first call. Don't go back, change it, and then change it again. So that's the
Be confident with your call. Never go back.
Amen to that.
Or in Michael's playbook, a guy cracks a home run. And, that's an infield fly. Oh no, just stick to it. Stick to your initial call. Infield fly. The runner's out. The ball went over the fence. We're having some dysfunction over here from the
Jets. The light is really messing with me.
Here, Tyler, flip it around. Have it like go turn. Can you turn it around?
I can turn this way.
Yeah, that's better. Is that better, Mike?
It looks great.
Cool.
I'm just going to wrap up youth umpiring in general, and then I can flip it to you, Ty. But there is a huge shortage nowadays for umpires. Like, you will get paid. I have people begging me, I'll give you $100 cash if you ump an 11-year-old game. That takes an hour and a half. But unfortunately, the thing is, the game these days, fans, coaches, usually never the players, are just berating the umpires.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it's your son or it's your daughter's little league game. You want to have fun and you want them to play baseball, and you have to have an umpire there for them to play the game. So it's unfortunate to see that going on, but it's always fun
Dude,
as an umpire.
yeah,
Don't
it's
take it seriously.
it's
So.
the same. It's the same in soccer. Might as well pivot to that. That was a good time to pivot. Literally, like you said, they're struggling to find referees. Even when I quit refereeing, which was when I was 18 years old, they were starting to, like, everyone in the North Shore was starting to quit because the parents were getting so bad. They even had to warn. They sent an email warning out to every parent saying, like, guys, like, you're making all the referees quit and making this miserable for all of us because you guys think you're all right and just start complaining and swearing at the rest. Like, it got so bad that, I mean, I was glad to get out of it. I will say I do miss the pay of refereeing soccer. It was like 36 or 46 per hour. So that was pretty nice. But
Keep in mind though, Tyler has told me so far in our friendship that he has been a soccer ref at least 150 times. Like,
yeah,
that could not be an exaggeration.
I went through a
It's
lot, man.
pride and joy going home knowing, hey, I was a soccer ref. I got one thing on everybody out
No,
here.
it helped me to gain a lot of confidence, like going out there and you have to be able to, you have to be commanding and be able to control the crowd, control the, the players, the coaches. And, it helped me in a lot of ways in my life and I loved it. And that part of it, I didn't love soccer reffing.
What's your tag? Give us like one like really good story, like one really good soccer ref story.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, besides parents coming after me in the parking lot and knocking on my window and trying to, like, verbally argue with me in my car while the game was over, or little kids telling me to fuck off at a U11 game.
To be fair, I agree with the little kids. If I was a little kid, I would have definitely.
This isn't the story I want to tell, but this little kid told me he was 11 years old. It was the end of the game. He was out of control. I was ready to give him a red card already because he was slide tackling. He was pulling people and throwing them to the ground.
11-year-old, 8-year-old kids red cards.
I should have. This kid deserved it. He had like 3 very aggressive slide tackles. He pulled a kid and threw him to the ground. And then at the end of the game, he came up to me randomly. He was like, "Hey, ref, fuck you." And I was just like, I'm so torn because I'm like, that should be a red card, but like it's 11-year-olds and the parents are all going to come after me. The coach is going to come after me. So I came up to the coach after the game. I'm like, dude, your kid, like this kid over here, he told me to fuck off. Like, I just want to let you know that I just wanted to let you know that so you can like take care of it and, tell him, talk to him about it. He denies it. He's like, "Oh no, there's no way he did that. No way." He just completely denied it and then walked away. And I'm just like, what the fuck? But that's not the story I wanted to say. It was really interesting always finding out who your partners were for reffing. There was one time
Michael knows.
there was one time I was reffing. I was going in, I was going to be AR. I always liked ARing more because there's less stress and you still got paid a lot of money to do it. And there was this one time, this guy, I'm not joking, was probably over 300 pounds. And we get there, it's fucking 25 degrees. It feels like it's gonna snow. It's so cold. So I have sweatpants on. I got my Under Armour on underneath my my reffing outfit. This guy, we come up, he's like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm blah blah blah." He looks at my outfit, he's like, "Hey, should you be wearing those sweatpants, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, what do you mean? It's freezing." It's like, I don't want those to impede your running while you're on the sideline. And I'm just like, "Sir," I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, how are my sweatpants going to impede my running when you have a gut that is bouncing around, hitting your face when you're running around?
What?
This guy had the fucking tenacity, or not the audacity to fucking tell me to take my sweatpants off. And I told him, absolutely not. So it was always very exciting to find out, who you were referencing with.
Excuse me, sir. Impede my running. You're 400 pounds. What are you talking about?
I was just in absolute shock. I was just.
Yeah, for me, it's so Michael actually has grown to kind of like umping because I think Michael, you've correct me if I'm wrong, but you've kind of like numbed the pain of the fans screaming at you at this point. So like, for doing it for $100, whatever. But like for me, I tend to take things very, very personally. Like that's kind of always how I've been. Like I definitely like when I get hollered at, when I get cussed out, when I get screamed, I definitely take that to heart. So umping was just never really for me.
Yeah,
So
I can
it's
see you
like
getting so frazzled out there.
what?
I could see you getting so rattled out there.
Oh, I would get so rattled out there. And it's just like I just couldn't fathom. And like it was always fun doing it with Michael because like we'd always go out there and we'd have like we'd always be umpiring games like in the middle of fucking nowhere, like 45, 50 minutes away. And all of a sudden we get to the field. I'm like, how many times, Michael, did we go to like the wrong field too? Like we go to like type it in, it's like an hour away, and we end up in like the middle of this like, rural cornfield. We're like, where's the game? Like where it's like 50 minutes in the other direction. But
The worst thing for me was the parents that thought they knew what they were talking about, and they would continually attack you as if they know what they're talking about, and they're just completely wrong. So, in the beginning, I was more timid and not as confident, but as the years went on, I just started fucking barking back at them, and it was so fun.
yeah, it was, for me too, it's like my craziest story, and it ended up being it had nothing to do with the fans. Also, by the way, Tyler, you know what you should try? Are you recording on your computer right now?
Yep.
Take your flashlight on your phone and like turn it on and then just have it face you. See if that makes a difference. Having a light like in front of you. You know what I'm talking about?
No, it hurts my eyes.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Rain's coming up. Our guest is walking up the stairs as we speak.
All right. But yeah, no, I think my craziest story is it had absolutely nothing to do with the fans screaming at me. I've had so many of those games. It just kind of like whatever. For me, it was a 10-run rule. There was always a 10-run rule. Oh, here we go. Special guest. How are we doing, Rain?
Oh, I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Good. That's a
Doing
solid
good.
stash.
It's-
Solid stash we got going on over
He's
here.
got the best stash in the game.
Very solid.
I had it even before Top Gun came out, so I'm not hopping on that train.
No,
You're
he started
before the fact.
the trend before Top Gun came out.
You're starting the trend. But no, my crazy story, for me, it definitely had nothing to do with the fans. It was a 10-run rule when you have those little kids. It's 10-run rule or 2-hour after it was 10, either 10 after 5 or it was the 2-hour time limit. But the home team had to bat if they were losing. So and it was in the 5th inning. So there was one game I had, it was like a rec game. So it wasn't like talented kids or club teams or anything like that. It was like little league. So I'll never forget one team, it was the home team, was up by it was like 15-0. Like the other team was terrible.
Demoralized.
Like that, it was kind of cruising. I got to the 5th inning and it was like 18-0, 19-0. It was crazy. In the top of the 5th, I was like, okay, all they got to do is get 3 outs here. They get 2 outs. They did not score they did not get one more out until the other team had 15 runs. Next thing you know, it's a tie game going into the bottom of the 5th. They scored 15 with 2 down in the top of the 5th.
Jesus Christ.
I umpired behind home plate by myself because my partner didn't show up. It was about a 4.5-hour game because I couldn't call it because
That's why you don't ump baseball. You do basketball or you do soccer.
it was tied and I couldn't call it. It was time limit was up. Every time limit was up. One limit was up. All they had to do was get one more out. And then the coach tried to be nice and like put in this kid from right field that never fucking pitched a pitch in his life. Couldn't throw a strike. He walked like 10 straight batters. I got hit in the head by a couple foul balls. I pitches that the catcher just couldn't even catch. I'm like, this is awful. That was the game. I realized that umping will never, ever be for me again. Like that was the moment on. But hey, listen, it's not about me anymore. We got a special guest on to share some current insight in the world of reffing. Rain, the floor is yours, sir.
Let's see. My worst story is not current. I feel like once you get to a certain age, you're more willing to just like let some words just kind of brush off and not really like take it personally and just just kind of in one ear, out the other. Just ignore
You
them.
still
Or-
ref, right, Rain?
Yeah, I still ref basketball.
You and Michael are in the same boat. Michael still baseball here and there too. So
Yeah, I mean, it is, as long as you're confident and you don't have the terrible people, it's the easiest like summer job in the
Mhm.
world. I mean, you just show up, watch a game, make some calls.
What are they paying
Not
these
too tough.
days for?
Oh,
reffing?
like $30 a game, and I mean,
That's-
50-minute games.
That's good shit.
As easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, years ago, the worst experience I had was, yeah, just the youngest level I've ever done, like 4th and 5th grade, Cedarburg Rec. Just one coach, just my partner didn't show up. And it was just me. I had to make all the
Oh.
calls. It doesn't matter. The kids aren't good. It doesn't matter. And I'm doing a fine job. But the guy just I don't know, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, just had to stick up his butt. Also, he's just a bad person. I can get to that a bit, but yeah, he just wouldn't stop. Like, there's parents like yelling at the stands at that coach, just like, shut up. Because I think I was at that point probably like a senior in high school. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Range
do you-
still
what
had
do
the
you- what do you-
stash at that point.
yeah, but
of course.
you're a 45-year-old dude. Like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Parents are like, "Hell, I wasn't even doing a bad job." Like, I've had games where it's not like a perfect game.
Mhm.
I can accept that. It's 4th and 5th grade basketball. I'm purposely not calling everything so that they can play basketball.
Yeah.
Like, at that age, you can call it travel on every play. You can call it double dribble on every play. I'm not doing that. It's rec league.
Yeah. You got to let the kids play. They're out there to
Yeah.
have fun. It's not
I'm
like,
there to just manage the game. If someone like really fouls, give them some free throws.
yeah.
Bounce.
Should have kicked that guy out of the league.
I had to team up, but yeah, years later, or maybe a year or two later, at a friend's grad party, like another friend, he just turns out this guy was very drunk and became very racist to one of my friends.
Oh.
Just
Oh,
so he's obviously not a good guy. So it's not isolated to basketball. He is a bad guy across the board. Just
fuck
and then
that guy.
yeah, eventually I probably 6 months later, I think moved away from Cedarburg. So I've
People
never-
probably
never
ousted
seen
him. And
I mean,
that's
it's kind of
good.
tough to show your face
Oh, Mike.
after you're.
Oh, Mike, we got a raised hand up there in the corner again.
I think
How
you got to
polite
give
using
that.
the- how polite using all the Zoom tools that they have to offer. It's
I don't know how to use Zoom, so good for you, Mike.
Right? You got to give that guy a technical foul for his baseball.
I wasn't. I gave him a technical during the game, but I somehow was not at the grad party. I just like I know my friends talked about it, and they like talked about the story, and then I was like, oh, like who was it? And they're like, oh, it was Frank, and I'm like, no, like what Frank? Like thinking it might be the same guy that was the coach that was just a dickhole to me, and then
Yeah.
lo and behold, same guy.
If you ever see him again, you have to give him a technical and throw him out wherever you go. You could be at the grocery store. You could be just driving by him at the stoplight, whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta give him a tea and you gotta throw him out wherever you are.
Yeah, or if I have like hot coffee, I'll throw it at him.
That's much better.
Tee him up and then do some major. Yeah, just obviously
Good.
not a model that you want coaching your children.
No, I don't understand how the rec league let this guy in. I mean, does anyone
Yeah.
just get into the league or
I
like?
mean, as long as you're a parent willing to coach, they probably don't have that many.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if
Yeah.
they don't, they're struggling to get volunteers, I guess.
Yeah.
But
That's good
Um,
stuff. That's awesome, Rain. Well,
I do
hey,
have to ask you, have you ever made any big calls where you run down the floor, you go like that with the body charge going on?
oh wow. Whoa, oh, that was just a lot of cock right in the
You know, in the
camera.
NBA,
Yeah.
when it's a
When
big
it's-
Giannis
Wow.
charge,
Yeah.
he sprints down to the
Scott
the court.
Foster.
He does the with the body.
Scott Foster just like wanting it to be all about him, just gives a charge call, just sprint
I
3
love
steps
that.
down. Yeah, it is
love
funny.
Have
It
you
is
done
funny.
any of those? Like,
No,
I really want
I-
to see a big lefty with the body.
No, I'm very willing to like make the tough call at the end of the game.
Yeah,
But I don't want to draw attention to me if I don't have to.
that's fair.
If you want to step in for Dieter at some point this summer and just join me.
Sure,
I can
I'm
sneak-
terrible.
I can sneak you in.
I would, but I mean, I don't really have
Just
any
make a couple
credentials.
block charge calls. It's
I
all
would
I
love to
need.
do a couple big running down the court
Mhm.
with the body calls.
You would get the
Rain,
person-
really quick, the last question that we got for you, and then we got to keep moving. But
I understand.
the last question that I got for you is, how aggressive do you give that block call? Like, do you really really just give the fans the crotch? Like, do you just really give it to them or what?
I'll give
wanna
like,
know.
I'll give a little like half step slide, but
Oh,
it's not like a multiple step thing. I mean, maybe if I was doing like a high level varsity game, I'd feel more like I should do that. But if it's like a freshman summer league game,
Right.
but if it's like a high leverage game, I'd probably whip that out, and
Yeah.
I'd really sell the call, because that is half the job with reffing. You got to be confident. Yeah. Otherwise, people won't respect what you're doing. You gotta.
Yeah, that's
give
why
a-
I was a terrible umpire. I
It
wasn't
seems
confident.
like you got to be going out there doing these big Scott Foster run down the court calls.
Well,
I got
then
too rattled.
coaches
got
think
too
you're hot
rattled.
dogging it. Then they think you're hot dogging.
That's true. I
You
just
gotta-
drilled Rain in the knee, by the way. Sorry.
That's good stuff. Well, Rain, we appreciate you popping in, brother.
Sure.
Thank you for sharing your insight and giving us a little lowdown in the current world of the youth basketball sports leagues all around the state of Wisconsin. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rain.
Anytime.
Very good. Very good.
Rest of the episode, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Rain.
brother.
Appreciate it.
We're moving on.
I think,
Oh, go, Michael. Sorry. I didn't mean
yeah,
cut you
to
off.
wrap up this whole officiating thing, I honestly think the best compliment that you can get as a sports official is, say you're doing a game for a neighbor's son or daughter, and at the end of the game, someone you know comes up to you and said, "Oh, Max, Ty, Rain, Mike, I didn't even know you were umpiring or reffing." That is honestly the best compliment that you can hear, because that means they were focused on watching the game.
Yeah,
And there were minimal
True.
mess ups going on.
true.
Yeah.
And you know best, because most of the time that didn't happen for you, Mike. Usually it was, wow, Mike, you really sucked it up out there. So anyway, we're going on. We got what's hot, what's not. Tyler, what is hot and what is
Max.
not?
This is especially hot for us too.
Oh boy.
You're gonna love this. So we're both huge Zach Brown fans. I'm also a huge Pitbull fan.
Oh, God.
Pitbull came out with a song
Oh,
with Zach Brown.
I know.
Dude, let me play a little teaser to this song. It's so good. Everyone get out there, listen to it. It's called Can't Stop Us Now. Zach Brown and Pitbull.
Zach Brown, Mr. Worldwide. This is how you change the world.
This is how you change the world.
That's right. Get lost with me tonight.
This is high quality. You-
One after burn one down. Get lost with me tonight. We going higher. It's gonna stop us now.
I just love when people
Oh,
come and say, Mr.
no.
Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide.
Stop us now. Na na na. Oh no, no. All right, I'm getting
Okay,
carried
you're
away
fine.
here.
That's
I'm getting carried away. But seriously, it's an amazing song. It's just good vibes. Pitbull and Zach Brown. Who would have ever thought in the entire planet, like Zach Brown and Pitbull coming together? That's the last combination I would have ever expected in this entire world.
You know, Pitbull's only 42.
Yeah, he's been around, feels like 50 years.
I feel like he's been releasing songs for the last like 65 years. Like, I can't believe he's only 42. But anyway, what's not?
What's not was my golf game this weekend, as well as the two people that I played with, Jack and Sam. We
Oh,
played the Bull, which is I'll be honest, the only reason I wanted to play it was because of the name. I love the name the Bull.
Bulldog.
And my goodness, this course, I'm telling you guys, we got absolutely fucked out there. What's not is our golf game. We lost a combined over 60 balls.
And you had to know out of Jack's camp that wasn't received well.
Jack was not too happy. He
He's so high in his golf game this summer too, and you knew that he wasn't going to play well at the Bull, and you knew he was going to be let down. What hole, Tyler, did Jack break? Like, what hole did it
he
switch?
broke.
I'm going to have fun.
Like, it was a full-on break at about 15. Like, he was like, I'm done. But
Yeah.
I think about 6, he's like, I'm losing it. This is terrible,
Yeah,
but-
but he was mad from 6 to 15, and then 15, it was like, let's have
15
fun.
and on, it was like, fuck it, it's over.
We love
Yeah.
you, Jack. We love you.
We love you.
It's too predictable. Too great.
Yeah, so that's my what's hot, what's not. Mike,
Big
your-
nuts. Let's hear it from you, Big Tests.
I've got two what's hots going on
Oh.
this week.
you love the two what's hot.
He does.
Wow.
Number one, Rafael Nadal.
All right.
Breaking news. He just won his 14th French Open. That's his 22nd Grand Slam win. Rafa is 36 years old. There's a reason why they call him the Clay King. I just saw a little fact. He's won 81 consecutive games on clay surface. I don't understand. This dude is
I don't understand
a
how
gem.
one man can be that dominant. I mean, that's got to be the most dominant like player for any sport on one aspect of a sport.
It's
That
like
has to
it's
be.
like Tiger Woods won the major 14 times. The US major 14 times.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. He's won the French Open, like I said, 14 times. That's a record. That will go
That's
down in history.
insane. That's
That's
insane.
absolutely bonkers, mate. I'll tell you.
That is absolutely fucking bonkers, mate. Cheers.
Bonkers is a great word. That should be on the what's
Fucking
hot.
bonkers, cookie, mate.
Bonkers should be on what's hot.
Let's go on, mate. Let's take a chomp
All
of
right.
that test.
All right,
We're cringy. Move on.
moving on. Who's also hot this week? Johnny Depp. If you guys didn't hear the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case, Johnny
Amber
Depp
Turd.
has won the defamation lawsuit, or defecation or defamation. I forget.
Defamation.
Well, it was defecation in Amber Heard's case.
Defecation. Oh, I see what you were doing there. I like that.
Ty's dream.
So
I'm gonna poop on his bed.
Depp has won $15 million. But a quick side note, that little extra detail, Heard actually was awarded $2 million due to
So she
defamation
just
from
lost
one
their-
of Depp's lawyers. So big winner is Johnny Depp of the week.
Mike, to go off of that, I did see that an article saying that Amber Heard's net worth is only 8 million. So she might
No,
be
her current
bankrupt.
net worth is negative $8 million.
She might be severely bankrupt after this.
Yeah, tough look.
Tough look.
believe it.
Oh, jinx.
All right, Mike. Any what's nots or no?
Yeah, what's not? This one, I hope this isn't a spicy take. What's not hot of the week? Hitler. Hitler is not hot.
Hitler is not hot. You could put Hitler as not hot every single week.
Something
I guess
that's
if you can't think of anything else, that's a good one.
so something that's pretty interesting. This is actually very relevant. That was found on June 5th on Sunday. So the great grandson of Hitler's German ENT doctor, Karl Otto von Eichen, there were notes that were found between Hitler and his ENT doctor, ear, nose, and throat. Turns out Hitler was very self-conscious about his voice and how it would sound. He had a fear of serious illnesses. So we talked to this guy from 1935 to 1945, a bunch of notes between him and his voice doctor. So Hitler always loved giving speeches. There was one operation where they had to remove a polyp, but that was postponed until after his speech. So some
Wow.
Hitler, just self-conscious guy and not a great
piece of
guy. I think
shit through and through.
Wow.
he did some other bad
Didn't
things
expect
too.
that
So that's
coming in on the pod.
no.
No,
Let's
you
move it
don't,
on
you
to-
don't necessarily expect us talking about Hitler on the pod, but that's the idea of the Intellectual Idiot Show. You just never know.
random.
I'm
You
glad you
never
were the
know.
what's not though.
You never know what's gonna come.
What?
You never know what's gonna come with the pod.
Yeah,
I
he's
gotta
a
grab my
wizard.
charger. Max, you move. Your turn.
All right. Or Michael, do you have any more?
Nope.
All
All
right. Okay. So my what's hot of the week, it actually is centered around a conversation that I had with Haley. TV announcers. TV announcers all around the world. You know, I'm talking the Charles Barkleys of the world. I'm talking the Stephen A. Smiths of the world. These guys just got it good. They live their life just throwing out ridiculous takes, talking about sports.
Especially Stephen A.
Just all they do. They don't. It's not like they're playing. They're just sitting there talking about games. They're just having fun with each other on the set. Talk about a dream. Talk about a life where you just have it made, where there is zero pressure. You're just there talking. TV and
do we all agree that the best TV announcing crew is TNT?
Oh, 100%. It's not even
basketball crew?
close.
Is that
Chuck,
okay?
Barkley. I mean, yeah, Chuck, Shaq, all those, Kenny the Jet. They're the best.
Yeah. what's not are grad parties.
Ooh.
They're so
It's
awkward.
grad party season, guys. And I got some people that I love that I'm going to their grad parties this week, or next weekend. But then there are a lot, like I got a family grad party, 2 family grad parties next weekend, or not next weekend, the following weekend. But it's that season where it's not like it was when we graduated college or high school, where we were going to our friends' grad parties and having our. Now we're years removed from college. We're going to all of our little cousins' grad parties, or
It's weird.
or like young family friends grad parties and this and that, and it's a different feel. Definitely more of a, it's a little bit tougher pill to swallow. I mean, you guys understand what I'm saying, right? You
No,
understand
it's boring. Like, we've been through that. We've been through so many grad parties. It's just like,
you pay your dues and it's like you got to go, right? They went to yours and
get some good food, get some nice mac and cheese.
but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you're gonna have a bunch of conversations and you got to go, you got to support, yada yada. So it is what it is. But right away, diving into fuck up of the weeks, right?
Oh, we're ending with top 5.
We're ending with top 5.
All right.
We're gonna close her down with top 5.
Sure.
My fuck up of the week, I'm gonna go right into it. It's me, right? I'll tell you why. So
you are the fuck up.
I'm my fuck up of the week. So we're driving back yesterday, 17-hour drive. In like the first 3 hours, I'm driving. I'm like, oh, something smell kind of weird. The car. It kinda smells weird.
What'd you leave in the car this time?
Kind of smells like alcohol or like gas or something. It's like I realized I went to the back seat. Our pillows, our blankets were soaked.
Oh no.
The lighter fluid spilled everywhere in the back seat.
Dude, you could have blown up your car.
What?
Holy shit, you could have blown up your car. That's dangerous.
I mean, if there was a spark, yeah, but
Yeah. Or if it got too hot,
yeah.
driving 17 hours.
So hot, or what's hot me for all the time every week, because
No.
and also my car didn't blow up, but at the same time, yeah, lighter fluid absolutely filled up the back of the car. It smelled like just straight lighter fluid for the whole rest of the drive.
That's terrible.
We got all the pillows washed, we cleaned out the car now and all that stuff, but just make sure you're putting on your cap to your lighter fluid if you ever bring it in the car with you. Just so you know, that's my fuck up of the week. Ty?
Yep. This one is one of the worst things I've ever heard in the entire world. It's fucking terrible. So you guys know what a Brita is, right?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
A Brita pitcher.
Yeah.
You fill it with water, you dump it out, and that's it. You put it into your cup. Very simple, right?
Oh, of course.
So my roommate, Andrew, please, dear Lord, help him. So the other day, I think it was about 3 days ago, I'm in the kitchen with him, he's filling up his water, and then it's like he empties it. So the pitcher's empty, it has no more water, and he puts it back in the fridge. I was like, Andrew, aren't you filling it up? There's no water in there. He goes, what do you, I've never filled it up. I don't know how. He's been living at this fucking house for 11 months, using that every day.
Andy.
And he has never filled it up, nor does he know how to. He claimed to not know how to do it.
No.
Literally, you flip the cap up with a button, put water in, fill, put back in fridge. And he's never done it. And that's how we drink our water in this house. We fill the pitcher and then we put it in the fridge so it's cold. So that's my fuck up. He's not gonna be happy I said this, because we were at dinner talking about it today. He was not happy that I was gonna bring it up, but he's a little troll, so I had to. By the way, I came back from my house today. I was gone with Jack this weekend. There's a fucking 3-foot bear in my fucking bed that was laying on the street. Someone put by the garbage, so it was like a garbage bear, stuffed animal, 3-foot bear just on my bed. And I'm like, dude, what if there's a reason that's by the garbages? There's probably fucking scabies or lice on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now you gotta redo your bed covers.
yep. They're getting washed right now.
There you go.
Wasn't
There you
happy about that.
That's a good one, Ty. That's a good fuck up.
That's a good double fuck up for me.
Me and Tyler have had two great fuck ups.
Double fuck up.
Michael, here we go. Let's hear it.
I've got a decent fuck up of the week. This is work related actually. I had a couple managers, some of my managers flying into Wisconsin from out of town. And in this kind of like business, you want to take out a boss or whoever to lunch. You want to take them somewhere nice, somewhere that, you know, it's not like a Wendy's or McDonald's or a Subway. So we're pretty much after a long day of work, we're driving back looking for somewhere like nice to eat. I'm like, oh, what about like Water Street Brewery? That's like, you know, kind of a decent place to grab a
Good
beer,
place.
bite to eat. This one guy, one of the managers, he said he loved it. And we drive to Water Street Brewery, walk inside. Yeah, I'm not really feeling this place anymore. So I'm like,
Oh, Jesus.
okay. Decide to visit. One of them wanted to look at Bel Air Cantina. I'm like, okay, that's like, I guess an okay.
Bel Air's
place.
not great.
No, it's not.
Overrated.
But yeah, overrated. We walk inside. Oh, there's no pads on the chairs. So we drive like another 5 minutes to this Italian restaurant that I know exists because they loved it last time we went there. Drive to the place. It's locked. It has since shut down. So during COVID, the restaurant absolutely
Stay hot,
shut
buddy.
down, even
Stay
though
hot.
there's a sign on the side of the road.
How to lose your job.
Finally.
101.
Finally, we decided, like, you know what? We just need food. Go to this place called Herb's Mug. It's just like a little old town bar.
Herb's mug.
And Herb's Mug, like a mug of beer. And our waitress just reeks of cigarette smoke and everything like that. I'm like, all right, we're really impressing these folks.
Passing it
and
up.
so not just a whirlwind of trying to find these guys some food. So the second part of this fuck up comes into, I want to try one of their specials that they have. I've never been there before. They called it the garbage sandwich. It was just had a slew of, it doesn't sound appetizing. And, you know, garbage in, garbage out. I was pretty much slept on the toilet that night because the garbage sandwich was garbage coming out of my rear end. So pretty bad fuck up of the week.
How's your anus feeling?
A little
Yeah,
raw,
Mike, how's
but
your anus
we're
feeling?
healing.
That's tough.
Feeling
We
great.
should talk about Mike's anus.
Nah, we'll talk about that another episode.
Okay, that's fair.
We've already
That's
talked
fair.
about his sack enough this episode.
So, top 5 of the week. What do we got? Top 5 TV shows. Top 5 TV shows. I am about to get
I'm
destroyed. This
excited.
is not my area of expertise.
This is not your cup of tea.
I am not looking
Your
forward.
movie and TV show knowledge is horrendous.
Yeah, this is not going to be great. I'd like to go just to get myself out of the way.
Yeah, go quick.
Um,
we don't want you to go long.
So number 5, I got New Girl.
Next.
I love New Girl. It's hilarious. It's actually one of my favorite comedy shows. So number 4, I got Narcos.
I like that.
With Don Pablo Escobar.
I like that choice.
Narcos is I absolutely love Narcos. I watched the first 2 seasons.
Pablo Escobar.
Very good. Number 3, I got Outer Banks.
Oh, that's rough.
I love Outer Banks.
Number 3 show of all time.
Yeah, I think it's a great TV show, and I've really, really enjoyed it.
It's so cringy.
Number 3. Number 2, I got Breaking Bad.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Breaking
Respect.
Bad has always been one of the GOATs, Tyler. That's like the staple of our waking up at 4 a.m. for baseball, going to bed at 8 p.m. show right before bed. That was a good one. And number 1 of all time, The Office.
Oh God.
Oh,
So that's my top 5.
Wait,
Not gonna win. Mike,
hold on,
Did you-
Mike. Before you say that, I'm giving Max a technical foul for that list.
wow, how original. It's like you go on Tinder and so it says, oh, I love The Office. Oh, that's really original.
Yeah, that's
Were you talking about the UK version or the US version? You gotta clarify that one.
the U.S. version, Michael,
Oh,
the one that everybody knows. That one. Okay, whoever wants to go next,
I'll go.
just get me out of my misery.
all right. I'm gonna give an honorable mention because it's a really fucking good show. I don't know if you guys have watched The Boys.
No.
It's an Amazon Prime show, and it's getting absolutely just amazing reviews. It was so good. Basically, it gives like a take on what superheroes would be like in real life and how they would take advantage of the system and like use it for their greed, for their wealth, for the money, and all of that. And it's so interesting. It's also hilarious. Also, be warned, it's very brutal. There's lots of like flying limbs and just gruesome scenes. So highly recommend it though. If you haven't seen The Boys, get out there and watch it. Max, I'm surprised you didn't mention this one on your top 5, but number 5 for me, Squid Games. Surprised you put that on the top 5.
Squid Game's really good. I like
It's the most watched show of all time on Netflix. That show really knew how to keep you, like, it kept you on your seat. I was so intrigued. I flew through that show, I think, in about a day or two. So good. I can't wait for season 2. Apparently, I read a little article that the main character is going to become bad or something. So I don't know how that's going to happen. The guy that escaped. Number 4, Max, matched up with you, Narcos. Yeah,
Don Pablo Escobar.
So, and they've continued on with some other stuff too. They went, after Don Pablo, they get the historical, dramatization of that. And then they went on to the Cali cartel, which was super interesting. And then they went to Narcos Mexico. They talked about El Chapo, the other drug lord, I forget his name right now, but super interesting show. Love the historical like aspect of it, and it just is super entertaining. Number 3, I don't know if you guys have seen this one, How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
It's so like I recently watched that a couple months ago.
New Girl is the equivalence to that, and I got so much shit for New Girl.
Yeah, and How I Met Your Mother, I think, is a lot better. It's just pure enjoyment. There was not a bad episode. I got bored with New Girl. I didn't even finish New Girl. It just kind of stagnated for me. With How I Met Your Mother, they had new creative episodes every time. So I'm gonna go 3 for that. 2, Max, Breaking Bad, another one. We were kind of locked on with that. Character development for Walter White was the most unbelievable thing. The monster that he turned into from how he started. Very shy chemistry teacher. Number 1, for me by far, even though the ending was terrible, Game of Thrones. I've never had so much enjoyment in a show, and I've never felt so connected to so many characters. I definitely I'm gonna keep watching that the rest of my life, and I'll probably watch it 10 more times in my life. I'm just trying to hold it off as long as I can so it's really good again. But yeah, that's my top 5.
Good job, Tyler. That's a good top 5.
If you got rid of that last season, honestly, that would be my number 1. That would have made my list.
They rushed it. They fucked it up real bad. That should be a fuck up.
They know.
All right. Small guy, big nuts. What do you got?
All right, I do have to have one honorable mention that was very close to making my list, and that's going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's a good one.
You guys are just looking at me in confusion.
No, that's a respectable choice.
There's an
I'm not
against me because I do not like anime. I'll be quite honest with you, but that is the one show where I watched it as a kid, rewatched it for the first time in about 10 years, and it holds up as just like a great actiony cartoon that has great character development. So honorable mention, Avatar: Last Airbender. I would be an airbender if I could choose between the 4 elements. So number 5, Mad Men with Long Dong, John Hamm. One of the greatest freaking dramas.
I haven't seen
It's not a lot of action, but it's just so well written. It feels like you're back in the I think it's like 50s or 60s.
Tyler wouldn't like it. Tyler would not like. You would not like Mad Men, Tyler. It's not action packed enough for you.
No.
I watched action packed.
Tyler's an adrenaline action packed junkie. He needs like fighting and sci-fi 24.
That is so not true.
100% is true.
My number 3 was How I Met Your Mother.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right, number 4, Law and Order SVU. I don't even watch Law and Order SVU, but the cultural impact that it's had, I feel like if you talk to anybody, they've binged Law and Order at one point or another. And the best part about that show is executive producer Dick Wolf. I don't know. I think that's funny. All right, number 3 is going to be Arrested Development, especially the first 3 seasons, one of the best sitcoms in the early 2000s. Just unique comedy with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and just a full cast of characters. Michael Cera. Honestly, every episode slaps, especially the first 3 seasons. Number 2, I'll give you a hint. It's not Lupus. And that's going to be House, the medical drama with.
Oh,
Hugh
House is a
Laurie.
great show.
Great
House.
freaking theme music, great episodes. And that is one of like medical shows or just TV series in general where sometimes in the last like season or two, it can kind of peter off. House tried to do something new and it played well. I'm not going to go into it, but it is one of the few series where when they switch up the theme of the last couple seasons, it works. So House, number 2.
House is a good one.
Number 1, anyone who is a kid up to about 30, 35 years old, this is embedded in our culture nowadays. It's got to be SpongeBob SquarePants. I could quote SpongeBob from years on end. You go online, even people who don't know SpongeBob well, there are so many quotes and phrases that are in our everyday life that people just know.
I love it.
SpongeBob
It's so
SquarePants.
funny if you watch it as
a
a
pineapple under the sea, big nut, square pants.
Yeah, I'm like, I really like that choice. Like if you guys have watched SpongeBob recently, like as a 24, 25-year-old, it's so fucking funny. There's so many hidden meanings as we showed on, the past episode, but great choice. I love that top 5.
Very good
Big
choice.
stack.
Well, I'm definitely not going to win this week, but we didn't think Michael was going to win last week and he won, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that
So
was fucked up.
Shame on our audience.
Voters, that was
Shame on our
not good
audience.
voting.
That was garbage.
What was
Anyway,
that little dance?
Oh, that was me just driving through outside with the windows down. That's what I was
did
trying
you
to
see my Instagram story, Michael, that I posted? Did you like that?
Yeah, Max gave you a great shout out since I had the number 1 outdoor activity. Max decided to just drive outside with the windows rolled down. So
Yeah,
thanks
I
for the
actually
shout
had a
out.
10
boy.
I had an 11-foot moose that almost charged my car too that day. So that was
Probably
awesome.
attracted to all the lighter fluid in your car.
Okay. Cut. That's action. That's scene. We thank you all for listening. We appreciate you. We're going to keep giving you content every single week. So thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Don't forget to follow on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. We're delivering content for you everywhere that we can. So thank you for listening. Our audience keeps growing. We appreciate all of you. And Mike, thank you again for coming on. And Tyler, finish us off here.
Viewers, don't forget to smack us in the face if you have any ideas for the show. Absolutely smack us in the face.
Yeah.
Love the ideas.
Amber Heard, she'd be all for that.
Oh, okay.
Right in the face. All right. Anyway,
we're going to end it there and pot out.
Pot out.